All right, welcome here to God and Culture, and this is actually our first episode. Want to give a shout out to Bessel Studios and have my friend Jon Last here.
All right, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, and he works at the River's Edge, and I would say this, and it's the truth, and God knows I'm not lying, but he is actually my favorite bartender.
Oh, I
No,
do
no,
say that to
no,
everyone.
I really mean that, John. You are. I've been everywhere around here. Been in this community for 5 years, and your hospitality, man. People, your smile, just how you treat
I
people,
do appreciate that.
and the way you are. I was telling the missus, it's more than a drink, man. It's more than a drink because the drink is the same from a certain point of view. Of course, I drink the same thing all the time, so you can't mess up Hennessy, right? If you mess up
Yeah,
Hennessy, you're the worst bartender in the
absolutely. I
world.
can see that. Sure.
But let's. I want to ask you this question: how long you been bartending? How did you get involved in it? What do you enjoy about it? Yeah, tell us about it.
My
Tell us.
goodness, I've been bartending the majority of my life since I was 18. It
Wow.
just I'm coming from Queens. There's
Okay.
nothing but restaurants and bars, and
Yeah.
just there's like a cool factor, especially when you're young. It was cool to be at the
Okay.
bar,
All
and
right.
it just seemed like a fun time. Uh, just our bartending was a lot of cash at the time. It was something to do. Also, I'm not particularly sociable. I'm really I'm really not. I'm an
Yeah.
incredible introvert.
I'm.
No,
It's
I
kind
know
of hard
you.
to believe that.
You can't have me shut up. I know the way you know me. You see me at the bar. I'm just mouthy. But really, like I'm an introvert. But
Yeah.
at the bar, just like there's a party there. Like I'm behind people. Got to talk to me. I
Yeah.
enjoy. This is
Yeah.
how I get like just having a good time with people. I know. That's why I stick with it for so many years and stuff like that.
So I'm curious, like, what is the state of your mind when someone comes in, sits on that stool? What do you say? What kind of ambiance are you trying to give that individual? Honestly, like,
You know what I do. I just try to be cool. I'm just
yeah,
like really. That's all you want. Someone's coming in,
hmm
long day. Well, maybe it's the start of the day. Who knows? I'm just cool. Like, what do you want to do? Let's hang out. I'm
yeah,
here to serve you.
yeah.
Let's have a good time together or not. Or if you want to be left alone, you can like that's half the job. Read the person.
Okay, no, no,
After, and that's fine. That's 100%
yeah,
fine. I can read
yeah.
homie, just give me the beer. I'm out. If they're giving that kind of vibe off, I am not hating.
How can you tell that? Is it because it's at a vibe thing, or you already know? How can you tell when someone's like, you know what, bartender, give me my beer or my drink and don't talk to me? How do you know that?
It's something you're picking up on all my spidey senses
Okay.
when they're coming in, when they barely want to look at me. They're ordering the drink quick. They say, "Get me the beer." I'm like, "All right," all right. And I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'll do some small talk. If I get cut right off, then all
Okay.
right.
Do
Also,
you
mind you, that's fine. That's 100% fine.
all right?
Absolutely, not everything's a party.
Do,
Like
do you
goddamn,
do you get individuals like that a lot in your lifetime as a bartender, or do most people really actually want to have conversation?
you feel it out. I'm doing like 50-50, but
Okay.
naturally after every drink,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
a little interaction.
yeah.
Then they want to socialize a little bit more, which is
Okay.
totally understandable. Sure,
No,
but
no, that's
sometimes maybe they just want to hang out in the corner. I'm saying fine. Turn the game on.
yeah,
Get me
yeah.
my beers, make sure everything's cool. And I'm totally for that. Sure.
No, that's good. Um, I always relate. I've always said this. So, I'm a pastor, and the reality is that the priest also, Catholic Church. You have a confession booth, right?
Mm.
And there's personal things that, let me tell you, there's personal things that people have told me that I would take to the grave, right? And but is there some similarities where there's been moments for you? Because I think there's a similarity between the priest, the confession booth, and it's like we had a conversation before this. It's not so ritualistic. It's not so structured, right? It's off the cuff. It's informal. But do you have people who come and just vent and tell you what they're going through, and just to have a listening ear just makes a difference? I imagine there are those similarities, right? Is that fair to say?
You're a man of God, so I'll never compare the two. So, like, you're doing it for real. You're doing big dog
No,
stuff.
no, no. I
You're
think
doing
yours
big
is
dog
too.
stuff. No,
Yeah,
but yes, that people just come in
yeah,
a lot. They just want to talk. They know
yeah,
they never see me again. Maybe they'll see me ever so often.
yeah,
They know I don't know their wife. I don't know their personal
yeah,
situation. That's
yeah,
why they're comfortable. Blah, just get
yeah.
it off their chest. They don't probably don't want advice. They're not looking for advice from me.
Fair
They
enough.
just want to get it out,
Yeah.
and it just feels good, like getting
hmm
it off your chest. And
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. And I do
Yeah.
take that serious. Like you were saying before, if they tell me anything, I don't tell anyone. I would never
Yeah.
like gossip or like, hey, guess what that guy's going through.
Yeah.
There is I'm not being
I believe
this
you.
is just a bartender thing. But that's corny. Like, I'm here for you, homie. You want to let me know what's
Yeah.
going on? And there's a comfort level. I'm all for it. Hopefully, you like show me the same respect because I've been at a bar a couple of times. Like
Yeah.
I will just get it off your chest, and
Yeah.
it feels good. So like it's very commonplace when people do come here. It's commonplace for them to just open up and just
Yeah.
let it rip. And I'm all for it. I'm here for them. Absolutely.
No, no, that's good. And I think, the honesty I could imagine at a bar, and once you get a couple of drinks in, do you know when someone's like, okay, they're starting to feel it, like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
of course.
and then, you know and then probably they're too honest, so they open up a little bit too much, or
Naturally, sure.
yeah,
Naturally.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
99% of the time, everyone's rock and roll. They're there,
yeah,
just having a couple cocktails.
yeah,
People for the majority of the time know how to pace themselves.
yeah,
But every so often, it's, ooh, this guy,
yeah,
this guy's going for it. Stuff like, and
yeah,
then like these friendly stories start to become something else. And then
yeah,
there is a BS detector, which is still fun. It's like, I don't think you got it like that, bro, or something like. But yeah,
yeah,
people can take it like a little too far. But
yeah.
if anything, it's still entertaining enough, and
Okay,
I'm still there for them.
fair
I'm
enough.
not judging. Like I said, they're there to get loose. Like maybe forget about their problems,
Yeah,
or maybe enjoy their day, whatever.
yeah. But I think
I'm there for them.
our job is very similar. I totally believe that. I've been around the bar world last 5 years in this community, and to be honest with you, I never was a person who went to the bar. It's
Mm.
because the only place to go and have a conversation and help someone come to God, the only places around here is the bar.
Yeah, it's one this.
Like there's not
Yeah,
much places where people gather, right?
absolutely.
You might have the farmers market or whatever, but I've come to realize that it's very similar. There's a trait to it where, you know, I don't want to feel alone. I want to be in
Hmm.
community,
Hmm.
and,
Absolutely.
and just someone serving me and someone listening to me, someone smiling. So, that the hospitality is no different than someone coming into your home, someone coming to a church. You look at them in the eyes, you
Mm.
want something to drink, you shake their hand, and you make them feel good and say, this mi casa es tu casa, and that's the kind of vibe that people are looking for. Now I got this question here. This is I was telling you, it's my favorite question I put up. So if God walked into your bar, what drink would you serve him?
I think I've been asked this before by someone. I swear to God.
Yeah, if God was to
So,
just come up,
so,
what
so
would you serve
I
him?
already have one loaded for you. I'm sorry about it. Would
Go
it be?
ahead.
It'd be this sounds tacky. A
Okay.
Long Island iced tea.
Okay.
Long Island iced tea.
All right.
First
Tell me
off, they're
why.
coming back. They're very in vogue right now.
Okay.
But what other drink is there? We have 5 base liquors. You have
Okay.
the vodka, the gin, the tequila. You're having the whole party.
Yeah.
All in one glass, so a whole bunch of with a little love into it, a little lime juice, some sour mix, shake it up, and
Okay.
some delicious iced tea. That's a quasi miracle. That's a small like bartending miracle
All
to
right.
put every base liquor in one drink and coming
Okay.
out tasting delicious.
Okay.
That's simplicity is almost key. So
Okay. What's your favorite drink?
I'm a bartender. I have to say all of them. I know that's very that's corny thing to say. If you put it in front of me, I'll drink it. I have to experience everything.
So there's not a particular one.
I have to experience
All right.
everything. But like I said, just plenty of whiskey and plenty of beer.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's not a sophisticated answer.
So once a year, and I keep missing it, and next year I'm gonna be ahead of the game. I believe it's somewhere in October, right? No, I'm sorry, September. I think I just missed it. Okay, either September, October. I gotta look this up in Google again.
What's this?
That there's a day for like Saint Arnold of Metz, right? The patron saint of beer, right? That you're supposed to actually buy a priest or a pastor beer. No, this is a real thing. No, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I remember one time I actually put it on Facebook and I said, who wants to buy me a beer? And some guy said, look, man, I'm too far away from you, but I would have bought you a beer, And so, but St. Arnold, right? He's and there's a lot of saints associated with beer. But this is considered the biggest legend, right? He lived around the 6th, 7th century, so we're 582, 640, right? He was actually a bishop of Metz in the present day France. He was known for, and this is actually historical and very important, that he was known for promoting beer as a safer alternative to water during times of plague and poor sanitation.
That
So
sounds silly, but
it's true. So you rather have a brewski
Mhm.
than drink a water right here that God forbid it has something and then you're sick or you could even die. And so the reality is, right, this individual was someone who did that. And it was and then there's some miracles and myths. Like I'll read some of it. It says during the plague, Arnold is said to have miraculously saved people by encouraging beer consumption.
Oh.
You know, that is part of the miracle of the myth. It says his relics were reportedly transported by beer loving parishioners
Mhm.
who stopped for a drink at every tavern along the way. You know, and I'm gonna just keep it real here.
I like this guy.
The last 5 years, the critique I always get, so I heard one parishioner said to me, "Look, Charles, just because some people might get upset, park your car somewhere else and then just go in the bar." Somebody actually told me that. I'm like, no, man. This is who I am.
Mhm.
You could attest to it.
Yes.
I'm always dignified, right?
Oh, yes, yes,
I'm
yes,
never
yes.
drunk. I'm
No, no,
always
no, no,
me,
no.
and I could go anywhere. But this is the
No, he
reality,
holds himself like a man. You know.
But this is what people don't understand, right? Um, if Jesus was around here today, he was around the marginalized and the outcast. And there's a story that I love and so the tax collectors were considered the worst of the worst sinners. All right. And I'll tell you why. Because they were the ones that were hired by the Roman Empire to go get taxes. So let's say I come here, right? And I'm a tax collector, and I come knock on Lee's house right here, right? And they say to me, right? Rome says, okay, collect 5%, right? And you're only supposed to collect 6% because 1% is yours. I'll go and say, well, Lee, give me 10.
Mm.
Do you see what I'm doing?
A little
And so,
hustle in there.
yeah,
Yep.
so they were
Mhm.
notoriously known as thieves and they will steal.
Mm.
And so one day, Jesus tells Matthew, come follow me. And then Matthew brings all his friends. Well, guess what? He's a Jew that other Jews don't like because he's doing that job and he's most likely has stolen from people that temptation. And so he's in Matthew's house with a whole bunch of sinners.
Yep,
And so to me, and then I love what it says because the Pharisees come and tell him, what is Jesus doing with those awful people? And then Jesus says, look, it's not the healthy who needs the doctor, but the sick. And I realize that I go to these places because if anywhere they may hear about God's grace and God's unconditional love, that's where it should be. And but sometimes people don't understand that. But if you look at scripture, for example, here, right? Look what Psalm 104, 14, 15 says. It says, wine is described as something that gladdens human hearts. So, I believe in this, and I bet you believe in the same thing. I'm a person. I love, when the liquor or the beer tastes the best? When I'm celebrating, right?
Yep.
Or when I worked hard.
Yes.
Right.
Well
Right.
deserved.
Yes.
Well
Yes.
deserved.
Right.
Absolutely.
So tell me about that. Like your understanding of drinking on celebratory moments, baptism, marriages,
Yeah,
birthdays.
that's just 10x in it. Absolutely.
Or you really work hard and you're like, and you just,
It was like I earned this. I'm telling you, yes, this is correct. I'm not doing what. That's a great point you bring up. Like, everyone knows this fact. Like a hard day of work. That's the best crowd. One of the best crowds when people come after work.
Yeah.
It's like 6, 7 o'clock. Sometimes you get the late hours.
Yeah.
Like 11 o'clock, just got out of work. The dudes doing drywall all day in August, doing roofing.
Yeah.
Dude, they go there. You just see, they just got paid. They work their butts off.
Yeah.
They come in and all of them are like, I'm buying the rounds. They're fighting who's going to buy the rounds. They are just so dang happy because they got their butt handed to them for about 10 hours now, 12 hours, just having a good time. So like that is well-earned beer or whatever spirit they have me drinking. Yeah. And that's like celebratory. You tell I earned this day. Yeah. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to enjoy it. Repeat process. This was a good day. And how you top it off with a beer or however you like to celebrate, like a wine, whatever the spirit is. But yes, that's great. You bring that up.
Yeah, man. And nice.
That's the best group. Just like afterwards, like rocking and rolling. Yeah. I'm not like getting after it. Like you said, I can see who earned it too. And once again, just like, I don't know if they're friends, they're just co-workers. They're bringing it, they're hugging it out, hugging it out, buying each other like rounds and stuff. That just, they really earned that one.
No, definitely. Even Ecclesiastes 3:13, I love it. It says, eating and drinking are part of enjoying life, a gift from God. And so it's about, you work hard and then you could stop, eat some food, have some wine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
know about this. So I went through a wine moment in my life, which was weird because I don't really drink wine,
We'll
right?
talk about that later.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I didn't understand. One day I went to a store here in Barryville, and the guy was explaining to me how you eat certain food with a certain kind of wine.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Well, tell me
No,
about
oh
that.
no, that is. I don't have the greatest palate, but I have a little understanding. Like
Yeah, yeah.
certain foods pair better with other wines. Like
Okay.
that's like so when you get a wine,
Uh-huh.
like you test the legs on it. You just take a little sip of it. Like the tannins is pulling out like
Okay.
your taste buds and stuff like that. So like with a steak, you want a nice red wine. Maybe I like a Pinot Noir. It's like a dirtier wine. But you
Okay.
have that with a nice burger and fries. It just complements it so well. When you take a
Okay.
sip, it's
Okay.
pulling out the saliva in your tongue, so you can enjoy. It's already
Oh,
delicious
okay.
food, so it's
Mm-hmm.
adding value. Let's say you have white wines, we like usually pair with a chicken or a fish.
Okay.
So it's like
All right.
there is a whole pairing pairing possibilities that you do that really brings out the flavor. Yes, like I wish I had. I know I've been bartending my whole life. I should understand a little more of the concept. But yeah, certain ones just pair well. And yeah, sometimes people do come in. What wine goes with, once again, bro, right now I'm loving Pinot Noirs. Like,
Okay.
it's not the most sophisticated wine, but it just like pairs well. Like with a nice Wagyu steak, or like I said, a cheeseburger.
That Wagyu steak,
That
man.
Wagyu or a cheeseburger. And also now
Okay,
it's
all right.
it's winter time, so now people are starting to tend
Yeah.
not drinking white wine anymore. They're
Yeah.
starting to lead into the red wines. So now when we're doing the orders, I'm gonna have way more like red wines coming in because that is the season.
So one of the things that I don't know if you heard this, but I also find it interesting. But I would like to hear your thoughts before I even say a word on this. Do you know what was Jesus' first miracle?
Oh, come on, man.
No,
Don't put me
no,
on the
no, no.
spot
But it
here.
has to do with what we're talking about.
Is no? Is
Yeah,
this the one that gets brought up? Oh, no, is he turning some water? Is this what is this?
Yeah,
My man, absolutely.
yeah.
The water to wine. That was
Yeah,
his first miracle.
that was his first miracle.
Oh man, he's yeah. People talk about that all day.
And a
My
lot of
man.
times, so the context behind it, in Judaism, they would celebrate for like a week.
Mm.
Man, we need to bring that back.
Yeah, but that really extended. Forget the 3-day weekend. Yes, 1 week.
A week celebration of a wedding. And what was interesting is that Jesus was doing a solid for his mother. This was seriously, this was a solid for his mother because the mother was really good friends, right, with the family. Now, a big embarrassment, this is all cultural tradition, right?
Mhm.
Big embarrassment is that you're at a wedding, right? It's kind of like, you're at a party, you run out of food, right?
Yeah.
Or you run out of drinks.
That is embarrassing.
No. Think about it.
That is actually exactly.
Or it's like being at a bar and be like, "Oh, sorry guys, we ran out. We got nothing to serve.
We're out.
But that's embarrassing.
Of course. Yes.
So what she asked was pretty much to Jesus, "Will you do me a solid, son?" And Jesus always stuck. This is when he is the Christ, and he goes, "My time is not yet," because wine represents his blood that he's going. Yes. So he of course he will say something. It's not my time yet, mom. But he says he still does the miracle, and then the people start to drink the wine, and they're like, "Wait a minute, why is it that the best of the best wine is left for the end? Because the beginning you give the best." Because it costs money, so then you and then as the end comes, all right, let's get out the cheap wine, all right, because this is kind of expensive. But they were in awe in how tasteful this wine was, and so I say to myself, Jesus' first miracle, and a lot of people don't know. Like for example, in Proverbs 3:10, it says, "Wine is a symbol of abundance and blessing."
Correct.
And a lot of people. So I think when it comes to drinking, it's all moderation.
Absolutely. Yes.
And it's also about, at the church, we talked about AA, and we're still talking about this. We're still talking about there is no AA around here. I've talked to so many people.
There isn't, no.
No. And so, because I believe some people, it's not the alcohol itself, it's the hurt and pain within the soul and within the being that needs healing, and then that's why people go to alcoholism or whatever it is. But one of my other favorite ones is Noah. I mean, this guy, he gets a bad rap for getting drunk and being butt naked, right? No, this is the story I'm telling you. And but this is the reality. If you are building an ark, putting animals in there, and then people making fun of you, laughing at you. This guy's an idiot. The end is not going to
He
come.
deserves
No,
that
no,
wine.
no flood was
Yeah, he
exactly,
deserves. It's all about
exactly,
deserving.
no,
Yes.
exactly. And so the reality is to be so harsh on him. The world just died.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you, your sons with their misses, all the animals, and you just look around, been stressful, and yeah, you one cup turned to two, three, four,
Oh,
five, or whatever
the
it
man we can
is.
celebrate. My man Noah can definitely
No, but
celebrate
but
this.
but in the celebratory, but also in the sense of the man was stressed out. So I don't blame him. That if I try, you know what I do with these characters in the Bible? Put yourself in their shoes.
Absolutely.
And one thing that you have to understand, and people have to understand, they're people just like you and I. There's a commonality of pain, of suffering,
Mm-hmm.
of stress. And even myself at times, I just need a little nightcap, and I'll go and I'll just sit there. And one of the best feelings, and that's why I like going to you. I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to me. How was your day? Yeah, this and that, whatever. And then it's kind of like I start having conversation with you, and it's like I forget
Yeah, yeah. Like that, you're
everything.
shutting your brain off a bit.
Yeah,
Like some days you come in extremely happy. Sometimes regular day.
yeah,
Sometimes look
yeah,
like you got like oof, you must have had a rough one. Miss. Sometimes you come
yeah,
in, you can tell,
yeah.
like see it on your face. You
Nah,
deserve like yeah.
nah. I hear you. So, one of the
What is that?
things, man, that I was thinking of doing, hopefully we could do at the edge, and it's something called pub theology.
Tell me about this.
So, what pub theology is you could go, so it'll be in a bar setting. First round will be on me, right? Just one beer,
I
whatever.
like it
First round,
already. Nice, nice.
and get people to talk about God, religion, um, politics. That would be a little crazy. We'll have some rules, of course,
You're a professional.
and
You moderate.
philosophy, and I think that to me in this community, we just had a 3-year anniversary at Barryville Community Church,
Congratulations.
and I appreciate
Absolutely.
thank you for
Congratulations.
getting me my favorite drink,
No,
Hennessy. No, I
absolutely.
appreciate that,
If
man.
anyone deserves it, it's you.
Sylvester got me some wine. That's very biblical.
No,
I have
yeah.
to go thank her
He's
for
on
that.
brand. Yeah. Yeah.
But the reality is that community with heightened political world we live in. You gotta think the way I think. You gotta act the way I act. You gotta see life the way I am, just for us to be friends. And I think that a place like pub theology, right, in a setting like River's Edge, um, can bring the humanity.
Absolutely.
I had a friend, rest in peace to my friend Ron Thiel from this community. When I just got here, and you know how people on Facebook just start,
Mm.
right, and,
Pop, pop,
and,
pop, 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 pop,
and,
pop,
and
pop.
they love, to attack you or say things, right. And he goes to me, he goes, well, you know what? I want to say this to your face. I was like, let's do it. We go, we meet up when I was the pastor over there at Barryville United Methodist Church. Do you know we sat there for 3 hours, shook each other's hand, and said, "We're going to be really good friends."
Really?
Yeah, and I got to officiate his son's wedding. I also, unfortunately, did his funeral. Met his brother. His brother comes to my church, and but he was that kind of cat that he was just authentic. He was just real, and I think that a setting where people can just speak their mind, and in a place where people can just, this is what I believe and I just want to
Yeah,
be
that would add
heard.
so much value.
You
Absolutely.
know, people
Yes.
people I think everybody has a right to be heard, and allow a place to say, this is what I believe. And even if we disagree, how can we, in a respectful manner, a respectful tone, saying, you know what, I disagree, but I see it like this.
Yeah, if you can
And,
share a room,
and
if you
yeah,
can share a room and just get a dialogue going.
yes, exactly,
99%
exactly.
of the time, say, "Oh, I didn't see it that way," or I'm just
Yeah,
happy to hear you talk.
yeah,
Absolutely, like a lot of times, like everyone like judge. They see someone that cares
yeah,
judgment. If you
yeah,
just 5 minutes, time to have an intimate conversation, or just have a conversation, it doesn't have to be intimate.
yeah,
Really, just get to know someone. Oh, my goodness, like I like this person. Like I said, I believe the gentleman you were just talking about.
yeah.
I think he want to pick some bones, even all of a sudden 3 hour conversation.
No, I loved it. I loved it because I think that, you know, in community and in togetherness, we have politics gets in our way, religion gets in our way,
Mm.
people's sexual orientation gets in
Mm-hmm.
our way. You know, you get to a place where, to me, it's about the character of the person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to me, it's about, you know, what resources do we all have to make this community a better place. You know, we're here to support each other, you know, and
All in the same community. We have like probably agree upon 98% of the same stuff. We have
yeah,
so much, and
yeah,
maybe just the little stuff maybe people have a problem with. You can talk it out real quick.
yeah,
I think everyone casts aspersions. They're way too easy to judge on someone.
yeah.
That's why I'm saying, I reiterate, like this is going to add a lot of value.
No, no, I think so, and I think it'll be fun, and you know, and I'll just read exactly what it says here. But it says people have been gathering in pubs and public spaces for ages, talking about life, philosophy, faith,
Mm-hmm.
deep questions of meaning. Right? Increasingly, people all over are rediscovering the pub as a safe, right, open space where they can explore and express their own doubts and questions, learn from others, and engage people of varying religious traditions. In our increasingly fractured society, these spaces are not only welcome but are needed. I totally agree with
Yeah,
that, man.
what can you disagree with about
You know, and so it'll
that?
be like this. It says here, for example, it says the format is simple. Look, it says beer, conversation, and God. It
Mm-hmm.
says, come bring your questions, your curiosity. You pull up a chair, you engage people, uh, and it's an experience. Wrestle with certain thoughts, and so I think we're on to something here, and I think that, you know, we could bring this into fruition. I've been talking about this. So I had a snippet of this. Shout out to my friend Pete, right, at Sand Beach, right? And I remember, right, we're just around, right, having a beer, and and I love this stuff. I'm a person. I look for this. I look for a way to bring up God. So,
All
but
right.
but I don't do it like all the time. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
do that. This guy had like a tattoo of a cross. So I said, "Tell me about that cross."
Now we go. Here we
You
go.
see, this is how I do it. And I was like, "What does it mean to you?" Do you know that just because I said that, the whole conversation of everybody drinking a beer became about theology?
That's awesome.
But do you see? You know, bring up opportunities, and this is the thing too. We learn from each other. So something that I enjoy as a Methodist is something called quadrilateral, like a quad. You know, four wheels.
Mm.
So this is what it says. You know, you got the Bible. You also bring traditions like other people who have read it and give interpretation to help us throughout the years. You got your reasoning, you got your own brain, and you got your own experience. So I believe in any subject matter of life, you know, we're bringing all that stuff. So you give a perspective about something in politics and philosophy and religion or whatever it is that I just can't view it like that, John,
Mm-hmm.
because you are unique in the way you are and the way you see life.
Personal experiences.
Yes,
Yes,
everything,
absolutely.
and I think that having an avenue to talk things out and seeing what people have to say is a great experience. So as a bartender, are there moments that you know that you never will forget? Like it was kind of like a joyous or something,
Well, there's plenty of
or one that
yeah.
stands out, or one, if you want to touch on, you're like, oh man, I wish. Good thing that day is over.
No, no, I'm sure there's absolutely. I'm sure there's tons of those. There is. I'm just at the bar. There's just something.
Yeah.
People come. They have, and it's just they have a good time.
Mhm.
But they also, like I said, they open up, especially anytime your health or something. I noticed this a lot of
Yeah.
times. Like so you have 1,000 problems, so you have one, and that's your health. When like someone like goes to the doctor, maybe have a bad like
Yeah.
diagnosis, and that's when people really kind of open up because they're searching. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, the doctor must have told them something.
Mm.
Not too good, and they're searching. And once again, they're not even listening for they don't want my input or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
kind of just thinking out loud. But yeah, there was a couple times. I hate to say that, a couple times. There's one particular gentleman used to come to the bar. I think maybe his doctor wasn't too far away or something like that. He just
Okay.
came in after and was going through some kind of treatment.
Okay.
And he was struggling with some treatment. And it took like months. And every so
Mhm.
often, it was kind of roller coaster. I think it might have been like chemo or something like that.
Yeah.
And like he'd come in and he was really like squared away guy. I
Yeah.
almost can see myself in him. Like, oh my goodness, but he's
Yeah.
really struggling with like, what's going on with his health. And like you
Mhm.
just see he's like, so he's talking about like faith and building it. It was like he was a young man, never really went to the church, but now he's like fuller.
Yeah.
Like understand. He's like grabbing a Bible, like going to like podcasts and meeting up with
Okay.
groups. And eventually, fortunately, he didn't come in one day, and I'm like, yeah, I guess he succumbed to his illness. And
Wow.
but I'm saying, but like, he was struggling
Yeah.
straight through, but like almost growing though. Like now he's like starting to paying attention.
Mhm.
So, I mean that one I forgot his name. I'm so sorry.
No,
That's terrible.
it's all right. You see
But
a lot of faces
yeah,
too, and you talk to a lot of people.
yeah.
But yeah, I think one day, if I get
Mm.
permission, man, I want to put it on my bucket list. I want to try what it is to be a bartender.
Oh,
But no. But you know what I'll do on
you'd
purpose?
be great. You'd be amazing.
No. I'll put the collar on. I want to see how that.
Oh, they would. Oh, people would be open up. Please, you're gonna start guest bartending every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, Rivers Edge bartending with the collar. Oh, dude, there will be lines out the door. That is a great idea.
No. I'm just curious,
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So I haven't done this in a long time. But when I wear the collar, right? I haven't wear a collar quite some time. Everybody usually like their posture and they all, less cursing. They behave
The
themselves,
collar
right?
definitely is formal.
But I'm more. I love that incognito pastor.
Yeah,
That I
absolutely.
just come in, and I just so I remember. And let me tell you, there's been one specific moment at River's Edge, and it was just recently where I just go in there and so the family they had a wedding. They stood over. I don't know. You remember them? So I'll get into it. Maybe you remember.
Yes, I'm sure.
So I'm in the corner right by the bathroom, right?
Mhm.
And the gentleman thinks like I'm some sort of bouncer.
Oh, I know you.
Yeah,
They were a very fun family.
And I had a shirt that says Jesus
Yes,
saves.
yes.
And then I'm just messing with him, right? And I say to him, he just looks at me. He goes, "Man, you look like a big guy. You look like,
Oh yeah.
So he just assumes that, I'm the bouncer here or
And
something.
you might need them.
And then he just he goes, Jesus saves. And I just look at him, right? And I smile. The family could tell I'm messing with him. I'm like, well, if you don't behave yourself, I'll give you a Jesus kind of beating, okay?
Ooh,
And then he just smiles at me because he's an older gentleman,
Yeah.
and then he goes, can you sing? I'm like, maybe a little bit. He goes, I could sing. I was like, yeah. I took out my phone, right, and I put a song, and I was like, and then
You
he
got
was like,
down that
hey,
night.
that was that day we
You got
started
down
putting
that
on the
you
TV.
You made a night into karaoke night.
No.
You made it. That was hysterical. That was a great time. We were there like 1, 2 in the morning.
And it was fun.
That
It
was
was,
incredible.
and I even said this, and that's why they had an outdoor wedding, and I gave them my business card, and I said, look, if it rains, you could do it in the church, and because that is a special time, you don't want rain to mess it up for
Of
you,
course.
and it was a magical night. I had so much fun, and I don't even know these people, and I'm just talking to them, but I think that dynamic of just coming together in community and just being around people, and even Adam said it. Adam was like, all right, God, why does every creature in this world got a partner except for me?
Yep.
And so the reality is at times, like, look, I'm an only child. I like my space sometimes, my alone time, but eventually I do want to be around people, and being around people, it's something we're meant to do. And I think, bars, and so I see pub theology like a place that it's not, because a church is a Christian church, and people are like, well, I'm not Christian, I don't believe in God or got issues with God,
I think
whatever.
I think everyone thinks it's formal.
But
Like once I think that's what I say with
yeah,
the collar.
yeah,
Like when I
yeah.
went to church when I was
Yeah.
young, it was like formal church, man. I would not to this day not go back to that church and let loose
Yeah.
and rock and roll. Naturally, I'm gonna have my best suit on,
Yeah.
like good posture. No, like there's
Yeah.
something like you want to just chill out, and I
No, no,
think
I hear you.
that's what you add to this community.
Yeah.
Like very chill vibe, very serious. You know everything, but like it's just a chill vibe, and it's very welcoming.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm myself. Somebody, one of the best compliments one of my parishioners said to me, he said, Charles, you're always yourself, even as a pastor or as a person.
Yeah,
You don't deviate. It's like
you
one
can't
and the
fake
same.
you can't fake it anything
That
that long.
yeah, it's
Absolutely, man.
you're who you are.
Yes.
So and I'm just curious because I've never gotten to these conversations with you. Growing up, but what was the faith that was given to you, or what is your view on God? And no judgment. I'm just curious to see how you view God,
No, I
or
love these conversations. I,
how does that look like for you, or
when I
growing?
was young, like I said, I was going to church all the time with my mother.
Which kind of church did you
It
go?
was a Catholic church in Queens, St.
Okay,
Nicholas of Tallentine.
okay,
Great
okay,
place, great place.
all
And I
right.
went there like every Sunday. I went to Catholic school for a couple years.
Yeah, so
I
did
was
I.
kind of about it. And
Yeah,
I think I'm just speaking for gentlemen or maybe young people in general. Like
yeah,
as you turn 18, 20, you have a devil may care attitude. Like,
yeah,
nah, I
yeah,
don't need this no mo. And
yeah,
you
yeah,
start to steer clear. And as you get older, once this is commonplace, like, and you have your own experiences of life. Like you
yeah.
have your own, not stuff you heard, like
Hmm.
you've seen like almost miracles, what you can only consider to be a miracle,
Yeah.
or like something devastating.
Uh
And
huh.
now you got to ask, yo, is it what's out there? Like, how could this happen? And you really start
Yeah.
pondering on this. And
Hmm.
like I said, now I'm coming back. Like you really like when we were young, you're like, there's nothing going on. Or that's
Hmm.
like not for squares, but it wasn't a cool look. Like
Yeah.
you reminded when you were a kid. Now it's just there's something out there. And
Yeah.
now like that, you talk to people. Now people are actually a little more open to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like and just like now you're on a journey for the rest of your life to figure out what
Yeah.
do you believe in? Well, what's gonna happen later on in life? Like yeah, so I'm still on that journey.
No, I hear you, and it's like from you know, I personally didn't accept Christ into my life till I was 18,
Okay.
and the
Yeah.
reason I didn't is because I went to a Catholic school, and the reality is I was scared of like that saying, drinking the Kool Aid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Yes.
and no pun intended, because that really happened with Jim Jones,
Yes. Yeah.
so
Yes. Yeah.
so but I to be honest with you, faith for me had a lot to do with the people that loved me. So
Okay.
my mother and my grandmother, I have the faith that I have because of them. But it wasn't until something happened to me in my life.
Okay. Yeah. Like
And,
your own
and yeah,
experiences. That's what I
and
believe.
I was saying that, my kids, for example, they have to experience something. So, I'll never forget this. So I'm 18 years old, and this happened to me back to back to back to back days. I'll never forget this moment.
Mm.
This is what got me to open my heart. The first day, they were like, "All right, Charles, you're not graduating high school." And
Mm.
I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. And then the next day, my girl broke up with me, and she had many good reasons why to break up with me. Next day, they're like, I got fired at Friendlies,
Jesus.
so,
What's going on?
and then the next day, this is the next day, my father kicked me out, and he had a good
Oh.
reason. He had a really good reason. He
Okay.
found certain things under the bed and threw it in my face,
Okay. All
and
right.
said, and pretty much said, "Get the beep out of my house."
Yeah, okay.
He
All
said,
right.
and I thank God for that. I actually, now looking back, and thank God for my grandmother, because it's like there was nothing I could ever do wrong. And then I remember going to a park, Branchbrook Park, and I was taking everything in. I had a great youth pastor, I had a great pastor, and they bared with me, man. I was that kid with the eyes red,
Mm-hmm.
so, and I just remember there's a verse that Nas has. He says, your arms are too short to box with God.
Boom. That's I
and
never
and
heard that
and
one before.
and I was yelling and yelling. I didn't even care if people was around, man. But to yell at God, you gotta have faith. You
That's
you
deep.
you gotta have faith. You
Yeah.
gotta have, and I'm there, and I was like, if you love me so much, why is all this? I was at the end of my rope, and then after I just got tired of yelling and screaming, I heard a gentle whisper say, Charles, this is what happens when you make bad choices in life. This is not my fault. This is your fault. And I remember that at that moment, I just said, and look, this is crazy. I said, God, I'm sorry for everything I've ever done. I don't know if you ever go through a moment in your
Yeah.
life, you know, it's hard for us to admit the people we hurt.
Absolutely.
It's
Yes.
hard. It's hard for us to be wrong, you know. And I started thinking about all those times I was an asshole,
Hmm.
all those times I was greedy, all those times where I was selfish, all those times. And I really said to God, I'm really sorry for everything, you know. And then at that moment I said, well, I accept you as my Lord and Savior. And I remember going to my parents after that and apologizing to them.
And this was still at 18?
Yeah, this was 18. This is
Dang, you
18.
grew up like a man fast.
Yeah, but I didn't start. Then
Yeah.
there's something called claiming your baptism. So when I got 19, I claimed it because
Mm.
when you baptize a baby, the parents are doing it for you.
Okay,
You
yes.
get it? So I claimed it, and then it's interesting. I started preaching at the age of 19, and so but I got it out of my system. Like don't get it twisted. I would say from 15 to like 18, man, I was swimming in that pool of sin.
Mhm.
And you spitting out the water like and enjoying it. I met a friend. You know, my mom tried to keep me caged up, John, and then I'm in a Catholic school, and then I go to a world, and it's like one day a black door opens to
Yeah,
me, and
yeah.
I see all this stuff. Like, what's that? You know? And but then I think eventually,
Especially for a young gentleman.
yeah, and it
Yes.
says in the Bible that the wages of sin is death. And look where it got me to. All
Mhm.
of that happening. And so, you know, I still struggle with certain things, but the reality is I think that, you know, what you do as a bartender, I think that it is doing God's work because, you know, people go in there and they're just waiting for someone to treat them well.
Yes, I agree.
And they
Yes.
want hospitality,
That's the
man.
one thing I do take pride in. I
Yeah,
brought it up early in this podcast. Really, like
yeah,
this is about them. Like
yeah,
don't you know there are some bartenders like they a little bitchy, little like something like that. Like how could you possibly do that? Like, oh, be as nice as heck, be as nice as possible. You're giving these people good service. That's
yeah,
the one thing I truly do believe in.
yeah,
Give people good service, let them have a great time. And like I said, once again, opening up, like coming full circle. They want to open up. They want to like get
yeah.
to know people. They want to communicate and be
No, no,
so
and no, and I thank you for
yeah.
that. So, shout out to if you want a really good bartender, where the drinks are good and the treatment as well. He's at River's Edge, and I recommend him. And John, I just want to say to you, thank you for taking the
No,
time
no,
to
I
do this,
appreciate
man.
you.
No,
My
no,
goodness, thank you for the
no, no,
invite. I really
no,
do
no, no,
appreciate you.
no, no. This is God bless you, man, and all that you do, and yeah, I look forward to it. We'll keep having conversations, see if we could make this pup
Well, everyone
theology.
come down to the bar. Yeah, please. I'm
Yeah,
excited
yeah.
about
Let's
this.
see what we can do and see if this could become something that brings community and people together from all walks of life to be friends, even if they have differences.
This is beautiful. I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
once
man.
again, thank
All
you
right.
so much.
So, all right, thank you. We'll have another episode next month. This is our first one, God and Culture. This is Pastor Charles Ferez from Barryville Community Church. Shout out to Lee, who's behind the cameras, pushing the buttons and so forth. And so, till next time, and yeah, God bless and take care. And yeah, just don't drink and drive, and all in moderation, okay? All right, take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Peace.